Hello, beautiful people, chosen ones, empaths of the world. I wanted to post a video today um, talking about one of the most important topics. And the reason I chose this was because when I was kind of trying to navigate things, I was having a hard time finding information that was going to guide me and was coming from a good place, and it wasn't information out of anger. I wasn't being guided um, by anger in any way externally, and I found it difficult. I found it very challenging to find material that really brought everything together. So I want to shed some light on this topic. And the other factor with respect to this is there's a lot of stigma around it. So obviously, when we're dealing with things like close relationships and blood and things like that, it can be a very sensitive topic to touch on. So I wanted to shed some light for you guys in a very in a more positive way, in a from a place of goodness, if you will. And so I want to talk about some of the things that are important, some of the things you're going to experience, and then I'm going to leave you with what I think is really a couple of important tips for those that are navigating the situation and it has sort of become like a last resort. This is going to be, guys, this journey of going no contact. So whoever believes that this is the alternative, this is the only alternative that's left for them. I want to prepare you because it's not an easy journey. You're gonna go through a lot of different emotions, a lot of different emotions. You are going to face loneliness, which will probably serve you more than being something that is harmful. I think that it's a great growing experience. And so I sympathize with a lot of people that have sort of gotten to a point where this has become a last resort for them, and need to go to a certain extent to extract themselves out of unhealthy situations, unhealthy familial patterns, and to allow them to regain their sense of self. A lot of times when individuals are very maybe enmeshed or are still very much a part of a dysfunctional unit, it can be very challenging to think clearly and to think about what is in your best interest. What is going to help you make the most healthiest decisions for yourself and for your future, because ultimately that's what this is about. This is a very individualized decision. This is a very personal decision. So my decision is going to be different than someone else's decisions. That person's decision is going to be very different than your decision. We're all going through different things, and so we have to navigate this situation with clarity. And what I want to encourage you guys to do is, if this has become a last resort where you feel that you need to separate yourself, create distance, I encourage you to look at this as maybe it's not a forever decision. I think the idea is for you to create the space that you need to be able to come from a place of much greater peace. And I'm not saying that you're not coming from a place of peace now. I'm saying that a lot of times what is possible, or what may occur, is that these types of situations cause us a lot of different triggers. And so sometimes we find we're like reactive to things maybe that we shouldn't be, and we're like, why am I so reactive, or why am I getting angry, things like that. And I completely understand it. And so the idea of this is to give you the space that you need to be able to cure yourself, to be able to regain your sense of self, your clarity, your wholeness is what the objective is. And also it is to not allow the close relationships to have such a profound impact on us. And so, like I said, this becomes a last resort for individuals like, this cannot go on any longer. And so, people out there are looking to break free from certain situations, certain dysfunctional patterns, family patterns. And I hate to be the one to say this, but this can sometimes be the only way. Because what I've realized is that it's not what you say, it's what you do. And when you are in these situations, or you're going through these problems, and you've been trying to speak your truth, and you've been trying to express yourself, and it's going to no avail, and you pull the plug, that's going to have a significant shakeup and impact on the entire family unit. So that's something that you have to understand. And this is something that they don't see coming. Those around you, they just don't see it. And so be prepared for, I want to also provide what I think is important to prepare yourself for, is that expect and prepare yourself for the truth not to be told about why you might have separated yourself, created distance. Prepare for the truth to not come out. You might hear those around you telling others, oh, maybe they're just, they're going through something, or they're going to go traveling, or you're going through some kind of problems and stuff like that. They're never going to come out and say, you know what, yeah, he's having a problem with me because I mistreated him or her. So be prepared for that. I encourage you to prepare in advance resources that you can use. When you go through this process, you're not gonna separate yourself from toxic relationships and then get involved in other toxic relationships. So many dynamics are going to change in your life, and it's a good thing. Don't think of this as a bad thing. You're going to slowly get to a place where you're going to realize you're inviting more synchronicities. And even if you were having synchronicities before, it's so strange because you can see them clearer now. You're like, this was exactly meant to be. And stars start to align themselves. And they will align themselves. And I don't want to tell you that it's going to be easy, because it's not. You're going to go through a lot of different emotions. There's a lot of pain involved. There's a lot of letting go. I encourage you to practice and be very diligent about your self-care initiatives. Drink lots of water. As stated earlier, stay away from relationships that are not going to serve your mental health. Do things like yoga, as mentioned earlier as well. Resources that are close to you. Eat good food, exercise, go for walks, meditate, yoga, things like that. For the longest time, guys, like I'm telling you, meditation and me just did not go well together, because I just had a hard time sitting with my thoughts and just processing everything. And so getting good at that, being able to sit with yourself, and allowing yourself to process things. It's very difficult to process things when you're being kept busy, and I understand why. When we're going through these things, it can be very turbulent times, and we want to stay away from that mentally, and finding the strength within yourself to allow yourself to process things is going to be very, very important for you, to allow yourself to go through the emotions. And so practice self-care. Understand that, because I'm saying, the reason that I say that you should understand this might not be a forever decision, is that things may change for you. So don't look at it, because often we can make this situation harder for ourselves with saying, oh, I'm gonna cut this person out forever, and this family, there's so much stigma. We think about all these things of, what am I gonna say to people, what are people gonna think about me. So all these things are gonna creep into your mind. And so I encourage you to take small steps. Don't look at this as like, oh, this is gonna be a forever thing. Things may change. Once you once you start to feel really good about things and good about yourself, then you can really decide and gauge who you want around, and to engage the extent to how involved you want them in your life. And so you're going to go through hard emotions, guys. You're going to also go through great emotions. So many things are going to line up for you. You're going to come to terms with, and you're going to realize just how much you had been enduring. And so all these things will come to surface. Like I said earlier, your life is going to start making more sense when you sort of extract yourself, because, guys, the amount of gaslighting that happens in these in families is just you're gonna notice the extent of it when you separate yourself, because you're no longer tolerating that, you're no longer getting that, you're no longer having your reality denied, and understand that for a person to have their reality denied, how profound of an impact this has on their life, on their relationship with other people, in their careers. You'll realize why you've had such a challenge, maybe making decisions for yourself, making career choices, these types of things. So much of it is grounded in that, and when your reality is not clear, it might be clear to you, but maybe those around you are skewing that. It's hard to understand your place in the world, right? And so you don't even know where you belong. And so regaining all of that is such a beautiful thing, and you guys are all going to experience that. So be prepared for not only hard times, but be prepared for really good feelings as well. And I believe that the power and the strength that comes from this regaining of the sense of self is going to be the catalyst for you, and it's going to help you get over those difficult times. You're going to know you're on the right path. You're obviously going to question yourself at times, but you're going to have this inner feeling about things, and you're going to know, okay, I'm on the right path. So prepare for yourself for these things. Prepare for all the things that you read about online, the flying monkeys and all that type of stuff. All those things are going to happen. You're really undertaking this initiative to love yourself. And the more you love yourself, when you do decide, or if you do decide, because I understand everyone's situation is completely different. Some people want to be like, I'm completely done. And some others like, well, I want to learn how to have a relationship because that's what I want. So this comes down to you getting to a place where you do what you want, and you're not feeling guilty about it anymore, right? You no longer are greatly influenced by the conditioning that you've had, that you constantly have to give of yourself, right? And so this is going to be probably the most challenging thing that you might go through. And again, you probably have gone through hard things already. I think when it comes down to the circle of blood, it's very, very challenging. But once you overcome this and you're able to take these steps to dedicate yourself to this level of self-love, you will feel it's a very freeing feeling, and you're gonna realize why you did it. You're gonna realize why you did it in the first place, and what's been holding you back. You're gonna have so many realizations. You're gonna have so many aha moments that are gonna keep you on track on this initiative. And it's important to understand that because I know one of the things that comes to play is, well, what am I gonna tell other people, right? What are they gonna think about me? They're gonna think I'm messed up. They're gonna think my family's messed up, and if my family's messed up, they're gonna think I'm messed up. This is not something that you're gonna share with everybody. Understand that if there is someone judging you, that person also has their own challenges, right? And no one lives a perfect life. And believe me, guys, there's a whole host of problems. That same person that's judging you has their own host of issues that maybe they haven't even become aware of yet. and you've been fortunate enough to come to this realization, to have this awakening experience. And so this is taking you to the next level of yourself. So I want you to leave that out the window, right? This is not about what other people think. This is about you. And the more that you get to love yourself, the less you're going to care about what other people think. Okay, so that's very important. And I want to leave you with a couple of important pieces of advice on sort of how to navigate this, because like I said, this is a very difficult decision, and there's so many just the phrase, or the phrase of, I'm going no contact, or I'm cutting this person from my life. It can seem like a lot for us, right? And there's a lot of emotions tied to that. Like, these are such profound words, harsh words that we're using. And what I encourage you to do is to reframe how you're looking at this situation in a way that, instead of that you're cutting people off, what you're really doing is, one, you are actually loving them, right? What I mean by that is, you're taking the time that you need to work on yourself and your health, so that in the future, if you do decide that you want to pursue these relationships, they're gonna flow easier, right? You're gonna have your boundaries and things like that. There's not gonna be constant arguing, which there may be right now, and all these types of things, because you're gonna have your boundaries very clearly implanted. So that is one thing that you need to definitely keep in mind, and to look at it as an initiative that you're taking to help yourself, so that maybe you can help others, right? So look at it in that way, and try to stay away from using very harsh words, because that in itself can draw emotions that are not going to make you feel good. And the second thing with respect to that is, rather than looking at it as sort of like a cutoff, and I'm not going to speak with this person, that person anymore, and that's it. And that, like I said, that might be the solution for some people. Absolutely, I completely understand. But essentially, also what you're doing is, with the individuals that you are maybe planning to have around in some way, to some extent, instead of looking at it as a cutoff, what you're essentially doing is you're changing the relationship, right? So you're not essentially cutting these people off, but you realize that what was happening before is no longer serving you, and is not allowing you to live your healthy life. And so now you're restructuring the relationship, and you're going to make this relationship work for you, if that is what you decide to do. And in the future, if you decide that, I want to have minimal contact with this person or that person, that is something that, again, is going to be a personal choice for you, and that is something that nobody can make for you. I know it's difficult to tell people that you shouldn't speak to this person, you shouldn't speak to that person. It's very much a personal choice. All we can do is to help you see things through the right lens. And through that, and through your truth, you're able to make the right decision for you, rather than having someone else make the decision for you. And you might say, well, why might that be important? And that's because it's likely that growing up in dysfunctional families, or being allocated a more inferior position, it's hard to make decisions for yourself, right? Especially big decisions, because you don't really trust yourself, right? You've been gaslit so much. You've been told you're wrong your entire life. And so you don't know if you're making the right decision, because you don't know, you're second guessing yourself. And so what I want to try to shed light on and try to help you with is to help you see things with clarity, and ultimately make the right decision for you. Because this is not a decision that someone can make for you. Nobody has lived all your experiences, right? You could tell me certain things about yourself, about your experiences, and I'm sure from what you've told me, is probably just 10% of what you've gone through. So it's very hard for someone else to know all these things, right? And there's probably things that you don't even remember that have happened that have been harmful. So it's a very personal choice, guys. I want to end this video by saying, you know what, this is not, this is not a form of disrespect to anybody or to any kind of families. This is an initiative that I'm not telling you to, hate anyone or resent anyone or any type of thing. I'm just trying to provide you with the right information and let you know that if this is something that you do decide to undertake, expect these things to happen, because you need to prepare yourself. You need to prepare yourself, and it's important that you have things organized in advance, because you're gonna be swayed off your center when you're going through these things. So it's important to be grounded. It's important to have a plan. It's important to have clarity. So going back to the initiatives around self-love and living very cleanly, you're gonna have to not allow toxins and stuff like that. Maybe you don't want to drink alcohol for a while because you want to be able to really think clearly without emotions and things like that, in a very clear headspace. And so these things are all going to play a very, very important part. You're going to be, I think personally, I can tell you the self-care initiatives are critical, because you take two people that are going through the exact same thing, and you have one person live super clean, or as clean as they possibly can, and then you have another person that might not be able to do that or isn't doing that. And so give that situation 6 months or 3 months even, and you're going to see how much of a difference and how big of a factor just that piece of it is. So take time to educate yourself. Take time to understand what you're dealing with. All these things is going to give you the clarity you need to make the right decision for you. So guys, this video is already over 20 minutes. I can't believe you got that long, but yeah, I hope this information helps you. If you have any comments, any questions, drop them in the comment box and I'll do my best to respond to you. Please like the page, share with anyone that you feel can use this information in a healthy way. And I look forward to connecting with you guys again shortly. All right, take care. Ciao.